Peter talking about child support here. You can't, so this is specific to child support. DHS will not go after women as they will men. Same with visitation. Not even the sheriff will get involved. All they will say is go back to court at $2.50 an hour. Not many men can. Agreed. And I'll start with the sheriffs and law enforcement. And I represent a good number of law enforcement officers, corrections officers, and the piece about them or the biggest conversation piece I usually have is, well, what is you guys' training? What do your superiors tell you? And we represent some individuals pretty high up in a couple of sheriff's departments. And until they go through the system, they basically, their habit or what they just naturally do is they gravitate towards, okay, well, we're going to let mom handle this, and then we'll just tell dad to go back to court. I've had many times where I've had clients call me and their law enforcement's at their front door demanding they do something, despite the fact that that's opposite of what the court order says. And we've had the same situation the other way around, where they refuse to enforce a court order and say, you just got to go back to court. In many states, Missouri, Texas, California, there is actually a criminal statute. So I'd encourage whatever state you're in to go through and look this up. But there is typically a criminal statute for violating a custody order. I have a handful of clients who it's not the easiest thing to get a DA to prosecute, but they've worked hard, they've documented things, and they've ultimately gotten the DA to pursue criminal charges for violations of custody orders. And I think that in terms of getting law enforcement to do these things, I think that one thing we had some success with is that I had a client who was pretty far up in one of the sheriff's departments, and we were able to connect and have a conversation with the leadership around the issues that were being caused by this sheriff's department. Now, we'll see in the long run if that will change their behaviors, change their trainings. But that is something, the enforcement of custody orders, because I've had officers tell me they spend upwards of 70% of their time on domestic disputes. And so given that they're spending 70% of their time on domestic disputes, they probably want to get in and out of these disputes as quickly as possible, or they really don't want to deal with them. So I think that if you're having those issues, trying to have conversation to educate the officers could be a good way forward. And also, if there is a criminal statute in your state, being able to give that to them and say, hey, she's violating the law. That can also be very helpful.